All right, here we go. So there are some different features here and ways that we can work in Illustrator. I've gone back to the normal drawing mode, all right, and you can see that we still have all this craziness over here. One of the things I thought would be really cool to show you guys was how to do some masking. And the clipping group that we've just created here is very similar to that. Let's go up here for a second and check out the outline view. See the X through here? That's generally what you get with a placed image. So that's our Sri Yantra image that is now being defined by the ellipse. So let's go back up here and we can hit Control Y. And that will toggle this on and off. Alright. And if I wanted to create a different way to hold something within a mask, let's try something a little bit different. So I want to move my layer menu over a little bit, just a wee bit, and let's say we're going to create a rectangle. Alright, and now I'm going to say File, and I'm going to say Place, and let's grab this one. Alright, and I'm going to place this through here. It's pretty darn gigantic. So when I get something like this, you'll notice that up here we have our 10-box rectangle. We've got 3, 3, 3, and 3. So I'm going to click up here on the upper left-hand corner. You'll notice that we are constrained. Let's change this to something that will fit easily within an 8.5 by 11 page. I'm going to hit the key 5. Alright, so now we have a 5-inch by 5-inch square. I'm going to pull this up over here. I think we talked in the last tutorial about how we can reorder objects. So if I hit Control Shift, right bracket, we now have a box over top of our linked file. So if I come down here, I have my selection tool. I'm going to click on the linked file, and I'm also going to click on the green box. If I come up here over Object and Clipping Mask, and I say to make, it's basically doing the same thing. You'll notice that we have another clip group. Okay, that's pretty cool. But what if we undo that? What if we say we want to put a gradient in there? I'm going to select the black and white gradient. I'm going to come over here to my gradient tool, and I'm going to drag this down here, holding the constraint key, the shift key, to make that a very vertical gradient. Alright. So now we have a black and white gradient over top of this gradient. I think we can tuck this edge up just a wee bit, pull this edge down a wee bit so that we're just over top of the circle. So if you look here, we've got a rectangle and we've got a linked file. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key to select both of these. So if you hold down the Shift key, you can add to a selection, or you can toggle out of a selection. So now that it's not selected. Let's grab that once again, and I'm going to come over and find my transparency menu. So if I come into transparency, I can say make opacity mask, and look at that. So now we've got some really crazy stuff going on. Very similar to the clip group, but you'll notice here that we have some very different stuff showing up. So it's a linked file. We don't necessarily see the rectangle that is over top of it, but down here we can. So if I click here, I can change my gradient. So let's go in and check out the gradient that we have in my gradient menu, which is Window, Gradient. There we go. So watch what happens now. So if I pull this up, black is transparent. Okay? White is not. White is full-on opaque. So we can do all kinds of crazy stuff here. We can still change this. We could even change this to a radial gradient if we wanted to and really fade that out. How cool is that? So now let's put this in the center. Oh, look at that. Isn't that something? All right, but if I try and click on something else inside my file, nothing is happening. Man, is that frustrating? I'll tell you what, let's go back over here to our transparency menu, and if we click here, now everything comes back. Very key. You really need to be aware of this so that if you ever get into this, you don't completely go psycho. And now I can change the whole thing. I can move this as one. But this is a little bit deeper level of masking than we had with our clip group, but it's also so much more useful. So I don't know if there's another way that Illustrator has come up with to approach this program, or this functionality, I guess I should say, but you can really have a lot of fun with a transparency mask. So if I come back up here under transparency mask, I can unlink, and then we can move the mask. We can move the object itself. Okay, so you notice this link here. All right, we can do all kinds of stuff. We can release the opacity mask and come back to where we were. But where's the fun in that? I kind of like it. So let's come back and just redo that. All right, if I hit invert mask, what do we get? So now the mask is fading out from the center and getting less opaque around the edges, but it is still defined within that rectangular shape. Invert mask isn't doing much for me, so I'm going to say nah, don't need that. But what would happen if we went back here and we changed the width? Oh, how about that? You can do all kinds of stuff. So very cool, very nice stuff, and it's probably all very confusing for you. We will come up with a standardized use for you to be able to use this, but I just wanted to show you some of the very cool stuff that you can get into if you dig a little bit deeper. So have fun with this for a little bit. Let's come back, and we're going to click here, and now we are back in our normal mode. I'm going to click Control Save so that we don't lose any of this very cool stuff. Remember all the nice things that you can see in your layer menu. So we have now a clip group, all right? We have a linked file, which is masked. We have a rectangle, and we have this crazy shaper group. Tell you what, one of the other things that we haven't talked about is how to reorder stuff. Look at that. We can change that too. So this is, I think, going to do it for right now, and I hope you enjoy the basic shapes video number 3. And we will get more into this stuff and show you how to put this to work and something that might be a little bit more useful in the next class. Have a great one. Bye-bye.